Hello, great learners, and welcome again to our great community. So, I am your great teacher, Cherry, and again, we welcome you, or I welcome you to our great community. So, for you to be updated, do not forget to follow our online platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Gmail account at the Great Teachers Academy. So, now we are in the second quarter, lesson 1. So this lesson is entitled Decisive Person. Okay, so in this module, you will learn the factors in effective decision making, the core values of self-efficacy and being integrated as a whole. Decision making, alam niyo naman yon, it plays an important role in the life of learners like you. No, it diverts you from falling into the trap that you may regret later. It can be both a save you for and your career interests, the ability to distinguish between choices and the needs creates a great impact in your life. So again, itong module na to class, you will learn how to decide as easy as possible and at the same time maayos yung kalalabasan ng decision na ginawa niya na hindi niya talaga siya pagsisisihan. Although, yes, nangyayari talaga yon, may mga decision talaga, diba, na sa tingin natin is nagkamali tayo, but remember, merong mga second chances. So that is why, hanggat maaari, kung magde-decide tayo, when it comes to decision making, pag-isipan talagang mabuti. Okay? So are you ready? Okay, so now let's reveal our objectives for today. So at the end of this module, you are expected to, number 1, discuss how sound decision making can contribute to success or achievement. So ano nga ba yung kahalagahan, diba, ng decision making na wherein nakaambag siya or kumbaga meron siyang connect dun sa success or sa achievement na nakamit mo. Next is demonstrate ways on how to make sound decisions in the given situation. So again, halos lahat naman yata ng scenario in life or almost every day, nagkakaroon talaga or dumadating talaga tayo sa point na kailangan natin mag-decide, diba? Sa simpleng bagay, just like kung ano yung isusuot mo, diba? You decide kung ano yung isusuot mo. Another thing is kung ano yung sasakyan mo, diba? Papuntang school, diba? You also decide kung magte-train ka ba or magta-taxi ka ba or mag-jeep ka ba. Okay, so and demonstrate ways on how to make sound decisions. And lastly, value sound decision making based on the different factors. So later on, we will discover some factors that might affect our decisions and makatulong din siya somehow when it comes to decision making. Okay, so those are our lessons objectives for today. Now, I have here a quick activity. So this one is just to check your prior knowledge about this, or warm up lang. Okay, so let's try this one. So this activity is entitled Fortune on Wheels. So read the paragraph below, then carefully study on what your decisions would be if you were in the situation. So ito, matitest na kaagad yung decision-making natin in this activity. So let's find out kung ano nga ba yung scenario. So you have there the scenario, your good deed of returning a case of jewelries and diamonds you accidentally found on a public transport was rewarded by a rich businessman. So this is all about the money that was being rewarded by you. Kasi nga, sinaoli mo yung mga mamahaling alahas. Okay? He gave you a huge amount of money that will surely change your life. Now, your next move is to use the money wisely and to make sure that every move you make leads to promote common good. So as much as possible, kailangan yung decision natin is that nakaayon, no, sa karamihan. In making such decisions, what are your considerations and why? Okay, explain nyo din. Now, list down some of your expenditures or yung mga gusto mong bilhin or yung mga gusto mong para magamit yung pera. Ano nga ba yung mga things? Bagay ba yan? Or investment ba yan? Or bibili ka ng insurance for yourself or for your family. Kasi malaking pera yung binigay sa iyo eh. Huge amount of money. Is it worth your money? Why? Explain nyo din yun. And at this time of pandemic, what should be your priorities? Do you find it hard to come up with a decision? Why or why not? So, syempre ngayon, di ba, nagkaroon ng pandemic. So, up until now, meron pa din, hindi pa rin siya nawawala. Still, nag-iingat pa rin tayo. So, ano nga ba yung importante ngayon? Ano yung eye-opener sa atin nitong pandemic? Diba? It's the health issue. No? So, kailangan ingatan natin yung sarili natin. So, ano yung gagawin mo dun sa money? Is it, are you going to invest it? Or bibilhin mo lahat ng mga gusto mo? Kasi nga, minsan lang mangyari yan na magkaroon ka ng huge amount of money and reward pa. So, talagang, reward to. So, kailangan bibili ko lahat ng gusto ko. So, what are your, or list down some of your expenditures. Okay? So, your timer starts now. Okay, time's up. So now let's move on to the guide question or processing questions in this activity. So number 1, how did you come up with such a decision? So ano yung nagtulak sa'yo para, let's say, ininvest mo yung money? Bakit? Bakit mo ininvest? No? How did you come up with such decision? Explain. Next, who influenced your decision-making skills? Is it your family? Or meron ba kayong financial advisor na kakilala? Or somebody na wherein nakatulong sa'yo? Or maybe, it could also be your teacher, diba? Your parents, or your best friend. Pwedeng sila din yung nag-influence sa'yo when it comes to that decision-making. And lastly, are you happy with your decisions? And bakit? Masaya ka ba sa naging kalabasan? Or masaya ka ba dun sa decision na ginawa mo? Are you happy? And then explain. Okay? So your timer starts now. Alright, time's up. So I hope na maayos yung mga sagot natin na when it comes to decision making. Now, let's move on to lesson proper. So, decisive person. Okay, so paano nga ba maging decisive person? So, let's learn this one. So, decisive person, decisiveness is displayed by firmness and decision. It means that you have the ability to decide, and from the strength of a decision, you then have the needed skills to carry out that decision and act on it. Okay, so of course, again, diba, in our daily life, lagi, meron talagang mga scenario na we're in, kailangan natin mag-decide. So, syempre, diba, yan yung pinakamahirap na part kasi, let's say, nandun ka sa isang scenario na we're in, ang hirap mag-decide. Diba, may iba nga, diba, na we're in, pinapapili, sinong pipiliin mo, ako or yung family mo? Diba? Ang hirap ng mga ganong scenario. Pero dumadating talaga tayo sa point na ganon. Na wherein kailangan nating mamili, kailangan nating mag-decide. So this one, again, decisiveness, no, it means that you have the ability to decide, and from the strength of a decision, you then have the needed skills to carry out that decision and act on it. So, syempre, once you decide, dapat panindigan mo, no, yung mga yung decision na ginawa mo or yung decision na pinili mo. Okay? Dapat panindigan mo yun. Okay? May kanta nga, diba? Yung Ben and Ben. So here are some tips, by the way. Here are some of the practices of a decisive person. So, paano nga ba? Number 1, okay, collect relevant information. So, grade 12 na kayo. Okay, so ano nga ba yung ano nga ba yung mga important things na kailangan nyong mag-decide habang kayo ay nasa grade 12? So, number 1, diba, yung pagpili ng school, kung saan kayo mag-aaral pagdating ng college. Number 1 yon. Number 2, kung anong course ang kukunin mo. Okay, so those 2 things ang importante, no? Or tinitingnan kaagad natin, pinag-iisipan kaagad natin, kahit nga grade 10 pa lang kayo or grade 9, nasasabi niyo na gusto kong maging teacher. Pero as days goes by, nagbabago yung decision natin kasi because of some factors affecting on it. Diba? May mga changes kasi sa environment or maybe meron kang nag-discover na course na wherein mas aligned sa skills mo and malapit din siya sa gusto mo. Okay? So, that is why yun yung nagustuhan mo and yun na naman yung pipiliin mo. Okay? So, hindi naman porket sinabi mo nung grade 9 ka na gusto mong maging teacher, gagawin mo siya talaga pagdating ng college. Okay? Pwedeng magbago yung decision natin because of some factors affecting on it. So, number 1 na kailangan mong gawin is collect relevant information. Let's say, for example, yung pagpili ng school. Balik tayo doon sa example na yun. So, yung pagpili ng school class, kasi nga grade 12 na kayo, it is very important no na makapag-decide na kayo as early as possible kung saan nga ba kayong school mag-aaral. State university ba or a private institution? Saan? Saan nyo gusto? Ngayon, yung state university, malawak din yan. Maraming state university sa Philippines. So, saan nyo gusto? Okay? Collect relevant information. Ngayon, kung meron ka nang napili dun sa mga state university, let's say, ang napili mo talaga ay state university. Pero again, marami yon. So, pagpipilian mo lang kung saan talaga yung malapit lang sa bahay nyo, di ba? Or hindi masyadong mataas yung standard pagdating sa grade, pwede yun. Pwede yung maging factor that affects on your decision. Let's say, napili mo is PUP, no? PUP Manila. Okay? So, Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Yun yung napili mo. Ngayon, ang gagawin mo syempre is that since future student ka ng PUP, you should collect relevant information on it. Okay? Ma'am, paano po yun? Pwede kang magtanong-tanong no, sa mga kakilala mo or mga kapitbahay mo na nag-aaral doon. Kumusta experience nyo sa PUP? Maganda ba doon? Or hindi ba nakaka-pressure? Wala ba silang standard? Pagdating, or hindi ba siya masyadong mataas yung standard nila pagdating sa grades? Yung mga ganon, diba? So, once you collect relevant information, makakatulong yun sa'yo, no? Sa pag-decide talaga kung gusto mo ba talaga doon or hindi. Okay? Another thing is that pwede ka ding mag-search through their social media account. Halos lahat naman ng school ngayon meron ng social media account eh. So, one click away, makikita mo na kaagad yung history ng school, know what are the courses they offered, no? And then the tuition. Pero since state university nga, so free tuition siya. Okay? So, pwede din po yun. So, get as much information as possible It is about exploring and discovering all the available options. Ngayon, kung hindi lang PUP ang gusto mo, meron ka pang isang gusto, pwede mo ding gawin yon. Magtanong-tanong ka din sa mga kakilala mo na nag-aaral doon kung kumusta yung experience nila. Para makatulong din sa'yo when it comes to decision making. Okay? So again, number 1, collect relevant information. Next, number 2, write down pros and cons. So ito na. Since nag-collect ka nga ng mga information, no, yung iba doon, positive, yung iba naman doon, negative. So ano yung gagawin mo doon? Okay? So you should write it down. Mas madami ba yung negative kaysa sa positive? Diba? 3 lang yung positive comments na narinig mo sa school na yun. Tapos ang daming negative comments about it. Yun pa din ba yung pipiliin mo? So pwede kasi yun. Nakakatulong yun when it comes to decision making. Dapat alamin mo kung ano nga ba yung mga positive as well as negative dun sa school na napili mo. Or pipiliin mo pa lang. Okay? Make a column list. Make a columns and then list down the doable, including its positive and negative effects. Okay, so again, importante din talaga yung pagpili ng school. Diba? Bago ka makapili ng school, bago ka makapili ng course, kailangan yung school muna. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng nakadecide ka na ng course mo, pero yun pala sa dream school mo, wala pala yung course na gusto mo. So, school muna. Okay, yun yung importante doon. So again, write down the pros and cons. Nakakatulong yun sa'yo para makapag-decide kung yun na ba talagang school ang pipiliin mo. Okay? So that is number 2. Next, number 3. Imagine yourself sooner or later dealing on with the outcome of your decision. So, syempre, since yun nga, nagtanong-tanong ka na ng mga pros and cons, or nag-collect ka na ng relevant information, nalaman mo na yung mga positive as well as negative comments about that school. Ngayon, kung decided ka na talaga na gusto ko talaga mag-aral dito. So, later on, no, you will imagine yourself na nag-aaral na doon. So, ano kayang gagawin ko on the first day of school? Gagalingan ko ba? Or mga matatalino ba yung mga kaklase ko? Nako, mape-pressure yata ako. No? Think about what you're doing and how you're feeling. So, excited ka ba? Nung na-imagine mo yung sarili mo na mag-aaral doon? Or, this one, sobrang saya mo ba? Kasi dream school mo nga yun eh. Okay, does it make you happy and fulfilled? Or does it make you regretful and feeling a little empty? Or somehow parang may kulang pa eh, parang hindi yata ito. Okay, of course, you must go with the positive outcome. Okay, so that is number 3. Next, number 4. Weigh in past decisions. Okay, so you should reflect and find out the things that you should have considered and should not have considered. Narinig mo na nga yung mga positive as well as negative comments, pero you are not yet sure kung pareho ba kayo na magiging experience ng mga yung mga napakinggan mo, no, na mga experience nila. Kasi iba-iba din tayo ng iba-iba din tayo ng magiging experience. Diba? Malay mo, sa kanila, negative yung karanasan nila dun sa school na yun, pero sa'yo, naging positive kasi ginalingan mo. Okay? So, weigh in past decisions. So, ano nga ba yung mga, ano nga ba yung mga decisions na sa tingin mo tama, or sa tingin mo mali, or sa tingin mo hindi siya needed, or yung hindi mo siya dapat i-consider. So this is the exact reason why you should reflect and find out the things that you should have considered and should not have considered. Through pondering on past decisions, you will be able to draw out effects that turn out well and those that did not turn out very well. Okay, so marirealize mo na medyo nagkamali pala ako dito. Okay, so weigh in past decisions. And the last one, of course, be ready and brace yourself. So again, sabi nga sa kanta, di ba, panindigan mo. Okay, pinili mo yan, decision mo yan, panindigan mo. Be ready and brace yourself. Kasi alam mo na yung mga positive as well as negative comments about that school. So, somehow, parang may takot ka na, hala, baka maranasan ko din yun, yung naranasan nila. Diba? Somehow may worry or you're being afraid on it. Kasi iniisip mo na kaagad na baka mangyari yun sa'yo. So that is why you should be ready and brace yourself. So it's good to be always prepared with the choices you'll be faced within your life, and get ready for the things that about to be or upcoming challenges. No? So, yung mga challenges na we're in, hindi natin in-expect na pagdadaanan pala talaga natin. So, diba nga, may mga students ako before na we're in, pagdating nila ng college or during senior high school days nila, ang bibo nila or matataas grades. Pero pagdating ng college, na-realize nila, ma'am, bakit ang hirap? Ganun talaga. That's the reality of life. Okay? Mahirap na talaga sa college kasi yun nga, yun yung road mo to being a professional. Okay? So, that is why ngayon pa lang dapat decided ka na. No? With those practices that we have, the 5 practices that we have, kailangan, diba, decided ka na din kung anong school nga ba or kung saang school ka nga ba mag-e-enroll pagdating ng college. And hindi lang yon, kasunod niyan, again, yung course naman. Okay, may mga factors din tayo on choosing a courses, no? So, ayun. Those are some practices of a decisive person. So, tandaan, making good choices begins with taking charge of the decision-making process. There's never a shortcut to achieving finer things in life. So, it always starts with a good decision. Okay, so kung sa tingin mo tama yung decision mo, panindigan mo, and it turns out well, naging successful ka, then very good. You did great. Okay? Okay, so now let's have another activity. What have you learned? Okay, so in this activity class, okay, so in choosing for your career choice, it is very important again to have this decision making. So in choosing a career, apply the practices of a decisive person. Yung 5 things na 5 practices na diniscuss natin kanina. Copy and fill in the table below on you or on a clean sheet of paper. So, you have there the table, your guide in decision making. So, yung 5 practices, you have there collect relevant information, write down pros and cons, imagine yourself sooner or later, and then weigh in past decisions, and lastly, be ready and brace yourself. Okay, so ano yung mga things na ginawa mo, the way you did it, at yun naman yung nasa kabilang side ng table. Okay? Sige, your timer starts now. Alright? So now let's have this one, no, the last part, which is the reflection time. So I want you to recall an instance in your life when you needed a confidant. Who was that person? Write him or her a nice and creatively done thank you letter and let the person know how you turn out to be a better person now. So, pwedeng yung best friend nyo before, nung grade 5 kayo, or during your elementary days. Pwede din na yung teacher nyo no, during your elementary days na naka-inspire sa'yo or so this one na tumulong sa'yo, no, para ma-achieve mo kung ano yung meron ka ngayon. So write him or her a thank you letter, and then you can send it, no, via regular mail or email, or pwede nyo din siyang i-post on your social media account. And then let him or her sign or acknowledge the letter and compile it together with your other activities. Okay, so again, write him or her a nice and creatively done thank you letter. Okay? All right, so I think that's it. Thank you for watching, great learners. So I hope you've learned something today, no? And I hope that at the end of this lesson, no, is that nakapag-decide na talaga kayo, or those practices that we've discussed a while ago, is that sana ma-practice din natin siya. Especially now that you are in your grade 12 years. Okay? So again, you may also follow our online platforms so that mas marami pa kayong mga educational videos na mapapanood. So again, here in Great Teachers Academy, we make complex lessons easy to understand. Bye, learners! See you again!